DJI has just released this Action 5 Pro. I just got mine here. I got the Adventure Combo Pack. Is it really worth upgrading if you already have the Action 4 to the Action 5? Is it really worth buying? Do we have enhancement in image quality, whether in daylight or in low light scenarios? Do we have better audio experience with this one compared to the previous camera, the Action 4 here? So in today's video, we're gonna talk about these topics. And by the way, my favorite feature on this Action 5 Pro is the built-in 47GB storage. This is by far my favorite feature, new feature on this camera. Without any further ado, let's get started. Hello everyone, I hope you are all good. In today's video, I'm going to talk about the Action 5 Pro that was just released from DJI, how it compares against the DJI Osmo Action 4 that was released last year. This video is not sponsored by DJI. I bought these cameras with my own money, and it's not gonna be a review for the Action 5 Pro. Keep that in mind. I'm going to make some comparison tests between these two, but this is not a review. I just got the camera. I need time to play with it, to have some fun with it, to discover it a little bit so I can make my own thoughts and share them with you. So today's video is gonna be about how they compare to each others in real world scenarios. I'm going to shoot in daylight, I'm going to shoot in low light conditions. I'm not going to shoot in night mode, well, during the night, but I'm going to do some low light tests as well, some audio tests. And by the way, as I always say, you cannot rely on the content creators, they are amazing, but you cannot rely on content creators who receive the camera before the release date, because mainly these content creators are paid to talk about the camera, to show only the positive things about the camera. Keep that in mind while watching videos, because yesterday and today we saw a huge amount of videos about the Action 5 Pro, much more than what we saw for the GoPro Hero 13 Black. The marketing team on DJI were working really hard. They sent this camera to lots of creators. That was huge. Whenever you refresh your feed on YouTube, you can see a new video popping out concerning the Action 5 Pro. And I really recommend you to watch some reviews, some videos from people who bought this camera, who really bought this camera, so you can know exactly what to expect when having such camera in your hands. I'm shooting now with these two cameras with the exact same settings, the DJI Action 4 and the DJI Osmo Action 5 Pro. The exact same settings, 4K 25 frames per second rocksteady on. I'm shooting in de-warp mode on these two cameras, which is for me the best mode if you would like to vlog with these kind of cameras. I'm shooting a normal color profile 10-bit on the Action 5 Pro and normal color profile on the Action 4. The only thing that I changed or that I dialed on these two cameras is, well, the sharpness. I lowered it down to -2, its lowest value on these two cameras, because I don't like the digital sharpness of these tiny little Action cameras here. I'm recording the audio with these two cameras, but also with this DJI Mic 2 that's connected to the DJI Osmo Action 5 Pro in this video. So what do you think about the image quality? Well, just now on the screen I can see that the Action 5 Pro, when I'm passing through the shade, is very nice compared to the Action 4. On the Action 4 we can see some dark areas on the screen. Once again, I haven't checked the footages on the computer yet. And this is also gonna be an audio test because there are some cars passing by, and I like this place here because we have some light from this side and some shade from this side with some noise, of course, so it's gonna be good for some audio tests to see if we can use these cameras on their own, or if we can use the Action 5 Pro on its own to vlog with. So once again, I have these two cameras side by side. Let me take some snapshots. So what do you think about the image quality? I will try to switch profiles. I will try also to switch field of views, knowing that we have the same exact field of view, 155 degrees on both cameras. But I will try to change it to see if we have any difference between these two cameras. I'm shooting with the Rocksteady, not the horizon balancing and not the 360 lock. So this is the basic Rocksteady and not even the Rocksteady Plus. So what do you think about the image quality? Once again, on the screen, I can see that the image is brighter on the Action 5 Pro. It's known, this camera, that has 13.5 stops of dynamic range compared to 10.5 stops, I think, on the Action 4. So the dynamic range on the Action 5 Pro now is very comparable to some high-end mirrorless cameras these days. But is it something very nice on such tiny sensor? Because on the reviews that I already saw online from sponsored creators, we see that we have some halo on the edges when we have difference in colors. For example here, while on the screen, on the front screen of the Action camera, it's impossible to see that. But I hope that we don't have this issue on this camera, because on the screen, once again, we have nice colors that I'm seeing here. So now this is a test with the sun behind. Which one is handling this kind of light better than the other one? Which one you think is more interesting than the other one? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And once again, this is not a review for the Action 5 Pro. I'm going to use this kind of footages to build my review for the next week. So this is just the first video with this camera, playing with it. And if you watched my channel last week, I returned my GoPro Hero 13 Black. I made a comparison between the GoPro Hero 13 Black and the Ace Pro, as well as the Action 4. And the Action 4 was way better than the GoPro Hero 13 Black. Ace Pro was a little bit on top of all of these cameras. Well, with maybe they are equivalent with the Action 4, and it has better low light performances. Action 4 has some better stuff in some different scenarios. But now let's see the Action 4 and the Action 5 Pro side by side. Honestly, I think that the AI, or the nano chip, the 4nm nano chip on this camera, is basically an AI chip that recognizes the shapes and the light difference, and in order to enhance the wide dynamic, or to make the dynamic range wider, it will increase some parts of the image. It's like when you mask some areas in your image on Photoshop or Lightroom or any other editing software, photo editing software, so you can increase the brightness of just one area, one part of the image. I think that's is made now on the Action 5 Pro internally. I'm not sure about it. Of course, I'll try to do more tests and have more thoughts and more maybe point of views about this thing, because to be honest, it's annoying. Although the colors of the image in auto white balance, they look much better on the Action 5 Pro than on the Action 4, but the edges are very bad. So what do you think? Let me know your thoughts about it in the comment section below. 8-bit normal color profile on the Action 4, 10-bit normal color profile on the Action 5 Pro. We have the halo. I'll switch to the 8-bit on the Action 5 Pro to see if we still have the halo or not. This is 8-bit on the Action 5 Pro, 8-bit on the Action 4 normal color profile. Honestly, I don't know, maybe I'm not seeing well on the small screen, but I don't see the halo that I had when using the 10-bit. I might be wrong. What I like about DJI cameras is that you can use your old accessories from your old action cameras from DJI on the newer cameras. For example, this is a battery from the DJI Action 4. I can use it inside of this Action 5 Pro. I can close this here. I turn it on and voila, the camera is on. I can use it with the old mounting systems of my DJI Action 4. I can use it also with the cages that I have for the DJI Action 4, and of course I can use the accessories for the Action 5 Pro on the Action 4. These are reversible, so that's something very interesting and very thoughtful from DJI compared, for example, to the GoPro Hero 13 Black, where you cannot use the new batteries on the old cameras or vice versa. So this is something to consider when buying new camera every year or when upgrading from a camera to another. And voila, I have it now inside of this cage here that I had for my DJI Action 4, and it works really well on this one. This cage is from PGY Tech, by the way. Now I kept the field of view the same on the two cameras, the deep warp mode, and I just switched from the normal color profile 10-bit on the Action 5 Pro to normal color profile 8-bit to see if it is better than the Action 4, because the normal color profile on the Action 4 is an 8-bit, and when we switch to D-Log M, we go to the 10-bit, we enable the 10-bit recording on the Action 4. So now we have the 10-bit recording on the Action 5 Pro on the normal color profile as well. So which one is better? Now we have 8-bit on both of these two cameras. Once again, I can see on the screen in this mode, in the 8-bit mode, that the Action 4 is a little bit better. I'm not sure about that. I have to check them on my computer and talk about it later on in the review in another video. By the way, ring the bell so you can receive all the notifications about my future posts. Let us try maybe now some audio test with these two cameras. This is an audio test shooting with the DJI Action 4 at about arm length, and the DJI Action 5 Pro also at about arm length. The two cameras are side by side. I'm recording internally on the cameras and on the DJI Mic 2 here, just in case. So what do you think about the audio quality? We have some very little noise on that side from the road, just behind there. And here is a perfect place for some image quality test, because we have the sun just here and I'm backlit now. So I'm really excited to see the footages on the computer, to be able to just throw them on the screen and show them to you, because this is something very important. These days, all the brands, they send the product to the creators who have lots of followers and subscribers and that stuff. And they mainly sponsor these creators, because I got sponsored from some other brands for some smaller brands. And when we are sponsored, we have just to talk about good stuff of the product, and most probably we have to share with the brand our video before publishing it. Maybe some creators do not accept this, but almost all of these brands, they require this in order to pay you, in order to sponsor you. In this video, I decided just to show you some real footages to compare these two cameras. So if you already have the Action 4 and you would like to upgrade, this video might be helpful for you. But if you would like to buy your first action camera, I don't recommend you to build your thoughts on this video only, because next week I'll be comparing the Action 5 Pro to the Insta360 Ace Pro, and in the upcoming weeks to the Insta360 Ace Pro 2, the new camera of Insta360 that will be released very soon according to the latest information that I got from Insta360 marketing teams. And I'm not sponsored by Insta360, I only have a contact with them, but I'm not sponsored. I didn't get the camera. Okay, let's switch some modes, and I will go, because we have this kind of backlit scene and some harsh light, I will go to HDR on the Action 4 and to HDR on the Action 5 Pro or the HLG mode to see if we can have better image with these modes. The only thing that I saw different on the battery side is the capacity, because on the new batteries we have a capacity of 1950 milliampere hour. On the older generation we have 1770 milliampere hour. So we have about 10% extra power on the new batteries. Adding to that, we have a new processor, a new algorithm on the new camera, so we can save more power using it compared to the older camera and the older battery generation. And when I was making these videos today, I noticed that I was shooting in exactly the same conditions, exactly the same settings. The two batteries were totally charged, were fully charged before I started my test. And I noticed that after about 20 minutes of shooting, I had more power left on this new battery than on the older one, and that's why, because I have 10% extra power on this one as well. Now I am in the ultra wide mode on these two cameras, shooting in HLG, which is the HDR mode of the Action 5 Pro, and the normal color profile of the DJI Action 4. What do you think about the image quality? I'm always shooting now in 4K 25 frames per second, rock steady on. I think that we have the exact same field of view on these two cameras. Let me turn it here. And now I'm recording the audio from behind the cameras. What do you think about the audio quality now? 4K 25 frames per second, rock steady on, ultra wide HLG on the Action 5 Pro, and normal color profile on the Action 4. And now I will switch to the D-Log-M mode. Although I made a video about log profiles, I'm not a big fan of shooting in log profiles on these cameras and automatic exposure, but I'll do it in this video. I'll just do an automatic exposure log profile just to see how the camera can perform or can read the light around and the colors. And then I will apply the LUT directly that we have on the DJI website. I will apply it on these two footages so we can color grade them based on what DJI suggests on their website. Of course, we can play a little bit in the color grading to have something that we like, but for the sake of this video, I will just apply the LUT that we have on the DJI website. On the new camera, we can now connect two DJI wireless mic transmitters here wirelessly to the camera. This was not possible with the Action 4 here, and on this one, via firmware update, we were able to connect the DJI mic to one transmitter unit to this camera, and it was working perfectly. I didn't had issues with it at all. I believe that now we have upgrades in the hardware, of course, of this one. So we have maybe the similar kind of receiver unit that we have on the Osmo Pocket 3. But to be honest, I will always use it with one mic. So the mic that we had with this Action 4 was working really well. I don't see any kind of use for me, for my type of use for this camera, to have two mics connected to it. And if I would like to have this connected, I can plug the receiver unit on the USB-C port here whether from DJI mic or any other brand, and I can use 2 transmitters without problems at all. So we have nice upgrade on this one, but this is not something that personally I care about. So now I am in D-Log M on both cameras, so I'm shooting in 10-bit on both cameras, 4K 25 frames per second, rocksteady on D-Warp mode. What do you think about the image quality? Which one is better? And now I will apply the same color grade on both of these two footages so we can have an idea about which one has a better dynamic range. Do we really have the 13.5 stops on the Action 5 Pro that is announced on the spec sheet, or it's just something related to the processing of the footages on the new processor of this camera? Maybe the 4nm AI chip that we have inside of it, maybe it's the responsible of this kind of a wide dynamic range. So I'm really curious to see your thoughts about these footages in the comment section below. So if you have also some questions and some concerns about the Action 5 Pro or some ideas for some tests, you can write that in the comment section below, and I'll try to cover these topics in my upcoming videos. And now let's go to some shady areas. There is one thing I noticed on the Action 5 Pro that is interesting so far is the back screen as well as the front screen. They are a little bit larger than the Action 4, and I didn't thought that this is something very important or very interesting from the spec sheets, but having it in my hand with a slightly bigger screen, whether on the back side or the front side, is a big plus for the Action 5 Pro over the Action 4. And this is really nice because now I can really easily know which camera is the Action 4 and which one is the Action 5 Pro, because the screen on the Action 4, whether the front or the back one, are really a little bit smaller than the Action 5 Pro, but that's enough to be able to distinguish them from each others. Again, I'm still in the D-Log M 10-bit on both of these two cameras side by side. On the screen, once again, I can see that the image of the Action 5 Pro, well, the selfie image of the Action 5 Pro is more interesting, is better, is nicer than the Action 4. She's an idiot there. She didn't stop. Anyway, I noticed that the footages coming out of this Action 5 Pro are really good. We have huge dynamic range compared to this Action 4, but in some scenarios, in some scenes, in normal color profile, I think that the footages were lacking some, not sharpness, but some details on the Action 5 Pro compared to the Action 4. I'm not sure about it yet. I have to investigate this topic more in the next coming days, so I can talk about it maybe in another video to see the exact difference in this kind of scenarios. Low light mode on the Action 5 Pro and low light image enhancement enabled on the Action 4. I'll be doing these tests here in my garage, because low light is not only going in the pitch black, but it's these kind of scenes where the light is changing and it's dim. Now I have only this flashlight here, so now I'm shooting in the low light mode of the Action 5 Pro as well as the low light image enhancement activated or enabled on the Action 4. As I said in a previous video, I care about low light performances of the Action cameras or of any small compact camera, because in my city it will start to get dark very early, and these cameras are released in the autumn season, so where the light will go off maybe at 5 p.m. So by the time I finish my work there will be no light around. So that's why I need a camera that can be able to shoot after my work, you know. So now on the screen, on the front screen, I can see that the image of the 5 Pro is warmer than the image of the Action 4, and the colors, you know, as it seems like the white balance is shifted to the warmer tones on the Action 5 Pro than on the Action 4. And I don't know if we can see some noise on the front screen. It's somehow impossible here. So let me know your thoughts about these footages in the comment section below. I will open the garage again, so I'll be backlit now. So if we shoot with the low light mode enabled on the Action 5 Pro or the low light mode on the Action 5 Pro during daytime, do we see any difference? Well, I think that in the shade I can see my face clearer on the Action 5 Pro than on the Action 4. And that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I would like to know which camera you think is better, the Action 4 or the Action 5 Pro, in the comment section below. And if you'd like to see more tests for the Action 5 Pro, please write your ideas in the comment section below so I can try to answer them and to talk about them and to cover them in my upcoming videos. And if you are interested in any of these cameras, I would highly appreciate if you go buy them from my affiliate links down below. If you buy them via my links, you don't pay extra money, but you help my channel a lot. You support my channel so I can afford buying these cameras and make these tests and these comparisons for you on my channel. Thank you for watching. See you on another video, and ciao for now.